In a world obsessed with noise, where everyone rushes to announce their every move, there is unmatched power in silent execution. The loudest one in the room is rarely the strongest. Real strength is built in quiet places. Early mornings, late nights, moments no one claps for. True winners don't broadcast their grind. They focus on the mission. They know success doesn't need a spotlight. It becomes the spotlight. While others are busy being seen, the disciplined are becoming unstoppable. Success is not an announcement. It's a revelation. It speaks for itself. It arrives uninvited and undeniable. When you work in silence, you give your energy to growth instead of validation. You shift from proving people wrong to proving yourself right. Your confidence becomes internal, not reactive. It's not fueled by likes or applause, but by the fire within that refuses to be extinguished. The grind in the shadows becomes the glory in the light. The silence is not empty. It's full of creation. Every great accomplishment was once a private battle. Behind every trophy is 1,000 unseen struggles. Behind every moment of triumph are hours of sacrifice that no one applauded. But that's the point. The people destined to shock the world are the ones too busy improving to explain themselves. They don't argue with doubters. They outperform them. They don't chase approval. They chase excellence. Because at the end of the day, results scream louder than opinions ever could. Those who work in silence understand the value of restraint. They don't need to reveal every plan, every goal, every step. They let discipline drive and humility lead. The more they grow, the less they need to prove. They don't speak of what they will do. They do it. They don't boast about what's coming. They become it. In a culture of oversharing, they remain mysterious, focused, and powerful. Their stillness is not weakness. It's strategy. They are building silently while the world sleeps. There's a sacred beauty in keeping your progress private, because when no one knows what you're building, no one can sabotage it. When you keep your dreams close, they stay pure. When your motivation is internal, it cannot be manipulated. The silent worker protects their vision by withholding it from careless commentary. They let the seed grow underground, far from the trampling feet of public doubt. And when it finally breaks through the surface, it's too strong to be stopped. The silent path is the one less traveled, but it's also the most rewarding. It's a lonely road, yes, but in that solitude, greatness is born. In the absence of noise, focus thrives. In the absence of applause, purpose is sharpened. Those who commit to the silent climb aren't avoiding recognition. They're mastering themselves. They know that every ounce of energy wasted on explaining could have been used to elevate. They exchange talking for taking action, and action makes the loudest statement of all. The grind isn't glamorous. It's not meant to be. It's early alarms and late nights. It's choosing consistency over comfort. It's putting in the reps when motivation fades. It's sacrificing fun for fulfillment. The silent worker doesn't complain about the process. They embrace it. They don't wait to feel like it. They show up regardless. Because they understand that commitment means doing it even when the mood has left. Their fire is not fueled by hype. It's stoked by vision and lit by discipline. Working in silence doesn't mean hiding. It means prioritizing growth over glory. It means letting your future success be your voice. Letting results be your advocate. Letting your work create the narrative. When you rise without warning, no one can deny you. They may have doubted your silence, but they'll respect your emergence. The transformation becomes the answer. The evolution becomes the reply. No debates, no defenses, just undeniable change. The most dangerous individual is the one who trains with no audience, the one who practices harder than they perform, the one who treats preparation like the main event. Because when the stage appears, they're not surprised. They're ready. They didn't need the lights to become great. They became great so that the lights would find them. That's what silent work does. It prepares you for moments the world doesn't even know are coming. When you remain silent in your grind, you become unpredictable. No one sees you coming. No one prepares for your level of commitment. While others are distracted by attention, you're building an arsenal of skills. You're developing a mindset that thrives in difficulty. You're becoming the version of yourself that doesn't crack under pressure. Your silence is not an absence. It's incubation. It's preparation. It's the foundation of future domination. People often fear being overlooked, but the silent worker understands that being underestimated is a gift. There's power in being doubted. There's freedom in being ignored. Because while they watch someone else, you're leveling up. While they gossip, you're growing. While they doubt, you're developing. And by the time they notice, it's too late to catch up. Your silence gave you the advantage. Don't post every step. Take it. Don't talk about the plan. Execute it. Don't argue with critics. Outgrow them. Let your hustle echo so loudly that silence becomes thunder. Let your daily grind become your declaration. Let your results be so massive that even your silence makes noise. The quiet hours are not empty. They are filled with transformation. The solitude is not lonely. It's sacred. The silence is not weakness. It's where warriors are made. You owe no one an explanation for your growth. You owe yourself the best version of you. Keep your vision sacred. Protect it from the opinions of the unqualified. Let your work answer the questions they haven't even asked yet. Let your results make them wonder how you did it. Let them be stunned by your rise, not informed by your intentions. Your power lies in your ability to focus, to persist, to build without noise. Because in a world full of talkers, builders become legends. There will be moments when silence feels isolating. Moments when you question if your unseen effort matters. But remember, the seed never sees the sun until it breaks through the soil. Growth is always invisible before it becomes undeniable. Keep watering, keep digging, keep believing. Every rep, every setback, every lonely day is part of the masterpiece. You are not behind, you are preparing. You are not forgotten, you are forming. And when the world finally sees what you've become, they'll be speechless. Let your actions be louder than your declarations. Let your habits speak louder than your hashtags. Let your transformation silence their doubt. You don't need to explain your hunger, just let it drive you. You don't need to justify your dream, just let it unfold. When the results arrive, they will speak for themselves. And the same people who didn't understand your silence will be the first to celebrate your success. The quiet journey builds character. It strips away pretense. It reveals what truly drives you. When there's no one watching, no one clapping, no one validating, you meet yourself. You face your limits. And if you keep going, you break them. That's where the winner is born. Not on the stage, but in the silence. Not in the praise, but in the persistence. When you can work without recognition, you're free, you're dangerous, you're unstoppable. So work like no one's watching, because most of the time they aren't. Grind like your life depends on it, because it does. Show up for yourself before anyone else does. Trust the power of compound effort. Trust the delayed harvest. Trust that your time is coming, and when it does, your silence will be replaced with awe, not because you talked your way into success, but because you earned every inch of it with relentless, unseen work. This is the mindset of silent greatness. It's not for the fragile. It's not for the impatient. It's not for those addicted to attention. It's for those who understand that empires are not built in applause. They're built in the quiet, brick by brick, day by day, in the places no one sees. But one day, everyone will. Your silence is not a void, it's a vault. Inside it are dreams turning into discipline, thoughts becoming actions, goals transforming into reality. And when that vault opens, the world will not hear a whisper, they will feel a roar. Because nothing is louder than success that was built in silence. When you commit to the journey of silent growth, you begin to experience a different kind of strength. One that doesn't need validation, one that thrives in solitude. You realize that the most powerful breakthroughs are the ones that happen internally, when no one's around to witness them. You start to understand that greatness isn't built in front of an audience. It's forged behind the scenes, in the hours when everyone else is asleep, distracted, or giving up. It's not about being seen. It's about becoming something so undeniable that your presence demands respect without ever requesting it. Every day you choose to show up without recognition, you are separating yourself from the average. You are refusing to settle. You are creating a version of yourself that doesn't need to speak because your presence will say it all. You are training your mind to become comfortable in the quiet, to find peace in discomfort, and to lean into your purpose even when applause is nowhere to be found. And that mindset is where unshakable confidence is born. It's not the confidence that comes from being liked. It's the confidence that comes from being built. When you operate from a place of silence, your intentions stay clean. There's no need to perform for others, no pressure to meet anyone else's expectations. You are free to focus solely on growth, not approval. And that kind of purity creates power. You're not wasting time explaining, defending, or convincing. You're using that energy to climb higher, go deeper, and get better. While others are consumed with visibility, you're immersed in evolution. You begin to understand the art of patience. You're not rushing to prove anything. You trust your process. You know that speed is irrelevant when the destination is greatness. You know that anything meaningful takes time to build. You're not looking for instant gratification. You're building legacy. You're not chasing quick wins. You're cultivating lifelong mastery. The silent worker knows that pressure creates diamonds, and pressure applied consistently in silence creates legacy. There's no need to broadcast your every move. No need to leak your goals to the world. You are not in a race to be seen. You are in a mission to become. And those who become don't have time to announce it. They're too busy embodying it. That's the difference. Talkers want attention. Builders want transformation. And transformation always begins in the dark, away from the crowd, where effort meets intention and purpose meets perseverance. The silence becomes your sanctuary. The solitude becomes your strength. You become your own motivation. You don't need someone to remind you why you started. You've internalized it. You've made it personal. You've made it sacred. And when it's sacred, it becomes untouchable. No criticism can penetrate it. No doubt can shake it. No failure can end it. Because you didn't build this in public. You built it with your soul. People often associate silence with weakness. But there's nothing more dangerous than someone working relentlessly behind closed doors. Someone who is studying, training, sacrificing, without distraction, without applause. Because when they show up, they don't need to be introduced. Their preparation becomes their presence. Their discipline becomes their reputation, and their results become their voice. That's how legends are made, not by announcement, but by arrival. The truth is, nobody cares about what you say you're going to do. They care about what you've done, and they'll only believe you when you've done it. Until then, your words are empty. So fill the silence with action. Let your efforts speak. Let your dedication shine through the cracks of consistency. Let your hunger be known not through shouts, but through the excellence of your results. Because real success doesn't need hype, it creates its own. You will face temptations to show off early, to prove to people that you're working, but resist it. Don't give them a preview. Give them the full masterpiece when it's ready. Because what's built quietly can never be torn down easily. It's built on substance, not approval. It's rooted in character, not clout. And when it's finished, it shocks not because it was loud, but because it was undeniable. Focus on building your foundation. Focus on becoming unbreakable. Make your habits your home. Make your consistency your currency. Create routines that don't rely on moods, systems that survive discouragement, and a mentality that thrives without recognition. That's the power of silent effort. It builds you into someone who doesn't depend on the world to keep moving. You move regardless. Silence allows you to make mistakes without judgment, to experiment without scrutiny, to fail without ridicule. And in those moments, you grow faster. You learn better. You become wiser. You begin to appreciate the climb more than the view. And that's what makes the success even sweeter. It was earned in silence, so when it arrives, no one can take it from you. People will be stunned when you emerge, but they won't understand the cost. They won't see the mornings you didn't want to get up but did. The nights you could have quit but pushed through. The rejections you swallowed without complaint. The sacrifices you made without anyone ever knowing. They won't see it, but that's okay. Because you didn't do it for the attention, you did it for the transformation. Let them doubt you. Let them overlook you. Let them talk. It only makes your silence more powerful. Because while they're busy speaking your name, you're busy building your legacy. And one day they'll have no choice but to acknowledge what you've become. Not because you forced them to, but because your success is too loud to ignore. Keep your goals to yourself and your grind to the ground. Keep working like your life depends on it, because it does. Your future self is counting on your current discipline. Your dreams are fueled by your present actions. And every day you choose silence over noise, progress over pride, focus over fame, you get closer. Closer to becoming the person you've always imagined, closer to shocking them all. Understand this. The world respects results, not excuses, not promises, not intentions, results. And results are born from relentless, focused, consistent effort. Not one day, every day, not for praise, for purpose. The silent worker doesn't rely on motivation. They rely on structure. They don't wait to feel like it. They act regardless. Because they know that emotions are fleeting, but the mission is eternal. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. To be seen as boring, obsessive, quiet, or even lost. That's the cost of silent excellence. But in that space, you are molding yourself into something remarkable. Something that cannot be defined by outside opinions. You are creating a version of yourself that doesn't flinch when criticized, doesn't fold when ignored, and doesn't stop when unseen. Because you're not living for them. You're living for the life you were meant to live. Don't announce your moves, just move. Don't declare your intentions, just deliver. Let your work echo through the walls they thought would contain you. Let your silence become suspense. Let your results be so massive that even your doubters become your fans. When you grind in private, your success makes the loudest noise. And when you reach the top, you won't have to say a word. They'll already know your name. People may not clap when you start. They may not support you in the process, but they will be speechless when you finish. Let that silence be your anthem. Let your consistency be your rebellion. Let your greatness be your revenge. There is a time to speak, but first you must build something worth speaking about. Until then, let your silence be your training ground, your temple, your secret weapon. In silence, you become obsessed, you become immersed, you become unshakable. You start to enjoy the process more than the praise. You develop tunnel vision for excellence. You stop comparing, you stop competing, you start creating a life, a mindset, a legacy that no one can replicate, because no one else saw the hours you put in. No one else felt the weight you carried. No one else endured what you did silently. That's what makes your success so shocking. It wasn't predicted. It wasn't publicized. It was built day by day, moment by moment, in the trenches of silence. And that's why when it arrives, it will echo far louder than any announcement ever could. It will speak on your behalf. It will humble the doubters. It will inspire the watchers. And most importantly, it will validate the quiet, relentless version of you that never gave up. You don't need a stage to be powerful. You don't need followers to be influential. You need vision. You need grit. You need the willingness to outwork everyone in silence. And if you stay true to that, your time will come. Your moment will arrive. Your success will shake the very foundation of what people thought was possible. Not because you told them, but because you showed them. The dream is still alive. The goal is still possible. The mountain is still climbable. But you have to be willing to do it without cheers, without attention, without permission. You have to be willing to keep moving when the world isn't watching. Because that's where legends are born. In the grind, in the quiet, in the shadows. Don't be discouraged by the lack of support. Be fueled by the lack of limits. You are not defined by how many people see your effort. You're defined by how many days you keep showing up without being seen. Keep rising. Keep building. Keep working in silence, because one day your success will be the loudest sound they've ever heard. Success that is rooted in silence doesn't just arrive. It erupts. It explodes into the world like thunder after lightning. What makes it so powerful isn't just the impact, but the mystery behind it. How did they get there? When did they do it? Where did they come from? Those are the questions people ask when you shock them with your rise. But the real answer is simple. You did the work when no one was watching. You didn't ask for attention. You earned transformation. In silence, you developed a standard. One higher than what the world expected from you. While others aimed to be liked, you aimed to be legendary. You weren't chasing applause. You were chasing accuracy, precision, perfection. You became obsessed with the tiniest improvements. You found fulfillment in the smallest victories. Each silent day added up until the world could no longer ignore what you'd become. That is the reward of staying low until you are ready to rise high. Your quiet effort carved out a different kind of path, one without shortcuts. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't viral, but it was real. And real always wins in the long run. While others sprinted for likes, you built a foundation that would last. You didn't crave visibility, you craved progress. And now your consistency has compounded into something extraordinary. You didn't shock them with luck. You shocked them with relentless execution. The power of silent work is that no one knows how much you've endured. They don't know about the nights you cried alone, the days you wanted to quit, the times you questioned your worth. But you showed up anyway. You moved forward anyway. You found strength in the struggle and courage in the quiet. And that made you dangerous. Because a person who refuses to quit in silence becomes unstoppable in public. You learned how to keep going when no one noticed. That's discipline. You learned how to believe when no one believed in you. That's faith. You learned how to master your emotions when everything around you felt uncertain. That's mental toughness. You gained something most people will never have, the ability to be self-motivated. And with that, you no longer needed permission. You gave yourself the power to rise. Let them wonder where you've been. Let them ask why you went silent. Let them guess how you pulled it off. The truth is, while they were watching each other, you were mastering your craft. You weren't posting about grinding, you were grinding. You weren't talking about your comeback, you were making it. You weren't explaining your goals, you were embodying them. And now you don't need to say a word. Your life is the evidence. Your silence became your weapon. It protected your energy. It focused your mind. It filtered out the noise. You weren't distracted by opinions or trends. You were busy becoming. And now, as your results begin to show, you realize something even more powerful. Success tastes better when no one saw it coming. The surprise amplifies the impact. The shock multiplies the respect. The quiet before the storm made the storm feel legendary. You started understanding that your purpose was never about being popular. It was about being powerful. You traded attention for authenticity. You traded noise for nuance. You didn't follow the crowd, you outgrew them. While they looked for fast success, you built something permanent. While they shouted, you strategized. While they competed, you created. And creation in silence is the birthplace of innovation. Most people get stuck at the talking stage. They plan, they post, they proclaim. But you moved past that. You entered the execution phase, the transformation phase, the domination phase. You focused on mastery over marketing. And that's what made all the difference. While the world waited for you to reveal your next move, you let your next move reveal you. There's an unmatched peace in being able to say nothing and let your work say everything. In being so rooted in your purpose that you don't flinch when people doubt you. In being so focused on the mission that you forget about the competition. You stop needing revenge because success is the ultimate revenge. You stop needing credit because impact is louder than recognition. When you work in silence, you stop chasing trends. You build timeless value. You develop timeless discipline. You don't get swayed by every opinion. You anchor yourself in truth. You don't get pulled into distractions. You remain tethered to your purpose. And that makes you powerful beyond words. Because a person who knows who they are and what they're capable of doesn't need to say much. They just keep winning. You start to realize that what you're building is bigger than a moment. It's a movement. One fueled by quiet effort, daily commitment, and relentless self-belief. You're not here for a season. You're here for a legacy. That's why you're patient. That's why you don't rush. That's why you're not worried about what others are doing. Because your focus is your freedom. And that freedom allows you to outlast, outwork, and outshine anyone relying on hype. The silence taught you something precious. That the process is the prize. That the work itself is where you find your worth. That showing up every day, even when no one notices, builds a level of integrity that success alone can't give you. You've become someone who doesn't just chase goals. You embody excellence. And that embodiment creates a momentum that cannot be stopped. When you emerge, it won't just be your success they notice. It will be your presence. You'll carry a different energy, a quiet confidence, a magnetic focus, a calm intensity. Because people can feel when someone has done the inner work. They can sense the difference between surface-level wins and soul-level breakthroughs. And you, my friend, will be a living example of what silent dedication looks like when it finally goes public. You didn't need to shout because your actions screamed. You didn't need to convince because your results compelled. You didn't need to boast because your life became the billboard. And the most incredible part, you still don't need to say a word. Because success, when done right, introduces itself. It walks into the room and shifts the atmosphere. It speaks a language louder than noise, one only the focused can understand. Keep doing what others aren't willing to do. Keep waking up before the world. Keep grinding while they sleep. Keep creating when no one's watching. Because that's how you separate. That's how you rise. That's how you shock them. Not with luck. Not with hype. With proof. With relentless action. With real growth. The kind no one saw coming, but now no one can deny. You will reach a point where your progress is no longer questioned. It's admired. Where the ones who laughed begin to listen. Where the ones who ignored you begin to study you. And when they ask how you did it, you'll smile. Because the answer won't be in your words. It'll be in your results, in your habits, in your evolution. And that is the greatest kind of success, the kind that requires no explanation. Let them keep talking. Let them keep doubting. You stay moving, stay building, stay becoming. Let the silence cradle your discipline and protect your vision. Let your character be shaped by the struggle. Because one day soon, you will walk into a room and shock everyone who underestimated the fire burning inside you. They won't see a beginner. They'll see a beast. They won't see a dreamer. They'll see a doer. They won't see noise. They'll see greatness. You have what it takes. The grind, the grit, the guts. You were born for this. Not to be loud, but to be legendary. Not to beg for attention, but to command respect. Not to prove people wrong, but to prove yourself right. And every ounce of work you put in silently is pushing you closer to the day they will all see what you've become. Not because you told them, but because your life told the story for you. So keep climbing, keep building, keep showing up when it's hard. Keep sharpening your mind, mastering your craft, and elevating your discipline. And when your time comes, let them stand in awe. Not because you made noise, but because you made moves. And in a world obsessed with being seen, you chose to become. The world won't expect it. They won't see you coming. But when your silence breaks, it will echo forever, because you didn't just chase success, you became it. Quietly, relentlessly, unapologetically. Work hard in silence. Shock them with your success.